sold to an agent. We sold all our cars. The sister car was turned into a special.
How many of these enclosed ones were there?
Well, the trouble is about it. Well, we thought there were 9 at first, but I think it's come out to 11 now.
Oh.
But we're not really sure. I mean, without seeing all together and counting, we can't tell. But I would have thought 11's more realistic.
Sorry, I hope you don't mind my habits on, do you?
No, not at all, no.
Okay.
As long as I'm not using any bad words. Lip reading, you know.
That's the way I give the warning to the folks, so that, because I'm not very good at editing.
See, yeah.
Fossil Vega, that's a car company, isn't
That's
it?
right, the French company.
Yeah,
That's
and they bought an Allard here.
No, they wanted they made big cars out there, and they could see the economy was sort of suffering. They thought it'd be only for a small car. So they came to us to build them a Palm Beach chassis as an experiment.
Oh, so that 5150 was an experiment for them.
That's right, yes. Had different front springing, and it had different shock absorber ratings, and they sent an engine over for us to make the mountings, which we did. And they never went ahead with it.
Well, you've got a sign here now, Bill, so...
I recall it distinctly because they had some French export or import laws. We couldn't send it with tyres. We had to make wooden blocks of the wheels. The tyres had to be taken off. And no instruments. Instruments went, well, they went in a separate box, but not mounted.
They had to be Marcel instruments or something.
Could be, yeah, could be. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
like a Lotus 7.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to circulate around.
Yeah, indeed, it's
See you later. Thanks for the information.
Interesting. 38.
Yeah.
Yes, I knew Sydney, first of all, in 1935. Knew him all the time.
Was he racing the Morgan then?
No, he'd just given up the Morgan
Oh,
then.
he just given it up?
He just converted into a four-wheeler. And then thrown it away, which was quite useless.
That's right, I read about
That's
that.
right, quite useless. And I met him then on trials, and then it wasn't until the following year we realised we lived fairly near each other. After that, I used to go around odd times in the evening when he was building, sort of chatting. And it sort of built up from there, really.
So what did he use? Standard, just raw metal, or did he use other parts to make
No, that's got a Ford
grill.
I was going to say the side members are Ford. Because then we were using other Ford parts. Because you're only building sort of one off at a time. We never went into getting things made. We used all Ford parts. So that is entirely Ford underneath, apart from the steering box, which was a Miles. Yes, his father used to put him around in his chauffeur, very slowly. To sit there with his Chilwick hat on. That was about the time his father realised that his son was making a bit of money, and he got interested then. Until that time,
his
that's right.
CLK5 no longer exists, does it?
No, unfortunately, he certainly had the chance to buy it a few pounds. It was lying on a sort of bomb site, you know, one of these bomb site dealers, at a very low price. Very, very little left of it. And so he said, I don't want the bloody thing now. That's not his new history. I'm interested in history. Although like Ford, it's all bunk. No, he wouldn't buy it. Pity, really.
So it went to scrap?
Oh yes, almost certainly, yeah.
What was the story about the Bugatti body that he got for that thing? Because I imagine people think it's a sacrilege that somebody took a Bugatti apart.
Oh, I bet. No, there's bodybuilders near us that did some of the Allard work. I don't get the name of them now, and they'd done some work on not necessarily L house car, no, but certainly on a GP Bugatti. I don't know what they'd done, but they certainly had this tail lying about. The tail and the scuttle were lying about in the works. So he thought it looked nice, so he brought it home and made the chassis frame to suit the width of the scuttle. You know. So that's the story there, but it's not necessarily historically with Bugatti. And people say it's Earl House car, but that doesn't necessarily follow.
Everybody likes to dream up some kind of a history.
That's
about
right.
their cars.
It makes a good press thing.
I'm still trying to invent one about mine, but.
Have you ever heard of Canon, a car maker, special maker?
Canon makes some trial specials.
Trial special.
Had a little 410 engine.
Is he still around, or?
I think so. I'm a bit out of that scene now, but I think he still is. Yeah.
In '60, I visited his workshop in England. A friend
did
of mine knew him. In fact, she belonged to the same dance club as Sydney Allard did, but she took me out to the Canon workshop, and I saw the specials with the individually operated brake in the back and so forth. Yeah.
Yes.
And that was the time before when I bought that car over there.
But that was the sort of time when the Allards were becoming beaten in trials, of course. Then. the
By those
courses
lightweight
were,
specials,
they made
yeah.
sufficiently tough courses, but nothing could stop the power of the Allards and the V8 specials. So then they decided to make small courses with tight corners, which of
Yeah.
course made the very little one.
The steering alone was.
Well, suddenly then decided that was the thing to do, and I was going to build a small 410 Special.
Oh,
He was
yeah?
going to supply all the bits, and I would build it up and run it under my own name, so he wasn't involved in it officially.
Yeah.
And if it worked, then he would sort of start building them now, but it never came.